look at us a little bit differently now. I still feel bewildered by the whole experience. I think we'd like to ask a lot of people down to come stand with us, because there are a lot of you. So could we ask, please, all of, well, if you appeared in Danger 5, come to actually Kate can specify, who do we want to come down?
Well, I think we should invite down Danger 5, the leads. And Natasha Rasik, who plays Russo. Sean Murphy, who plays Tucker. Amanda Simons, Claire, and Aldo Mignone, who plays Pierre.
So, here they are, wearing less blue than they did. Why didn't anybody wear a uniform? Come on, I mean, Jesus, Aldo. Oh yeah, sorry, I've got him. Anyway, so I've got, forgive me for using a piece of paper, but I have a veritable phone book of thanks to get through. To start off with, I just want to reiterate I'm grateful for absolutely everybody who came out tonight to see this premiere, and I'm grateful for all of the people who were involved who are here to support the project, and you know, the sympathies echoed by Kate, David and myself. But of course you cannot make a film without any money, so we would like to thank our investors firstly, and you can't make a film with just one investor, and we've been lucky enough to have a quadrilogy basically of them who have stayed behind us the entire way, and a couple of local investors who have been behind us for a long time. So to start off with, I'd like to thank Richard Harris and Defram Isai from the South Australian Film Corporation. Now, SAFC have been behind us since telling Spider-Man, and we went through a lot of ugly business towards the end of that, and they stuck with us the whole time and didn't say, well, forget about these kids, they cause too much trouble, and fund somebody a little bit more stable. They kept going, and now, hopefully, we're reaping the benefits. So thank you to the South Australian Film Corporation. Secondly, in order, but not importance, SBS, the television station you're also familiar with for Hitler documentaries and boobs on Fridays. We thought we'd just go ahead and put their two favourite things in one show. And then they're bound to fund us, so that worked out all right. Thank you specifically to Vincent Beasley, who's here with us this evening and spoke earlier, who's one of our executive producers, and Katarina Denave, who unfortunately, thanks to surgery, can't be with us tonight, but she is with us in spirit for sure, who have both played a tremendous role in this whole project. And Vincent was with us from the beginning of Italian Spider-Man, and again was one of the wonderful people who helped us get the development deal to make this new project and to continue doing what we love to do. So thank you sincerely to SBS, Vincent and Katarina. Now, most appropriately, I would like to thank the Big Pond Adelaide Film Festival and Katrina Sedgwick for hosting this phenomenal premiere. And they were lovely enough to have Italian Spider-Man in the program 2 years ago, and it's an absolute honour to be here back again and to get all of the free movies we get to go and see as a result, and subsequent drinks nights. And so we thank you from the bottom of our hearts, Katrina and the Adelaide Film Festival. Thank you very much. And of course, Danger 5 was a part of the Adelaide Film Festival funding program, so they are also one of our investors, which we are greatly appreciative for. And there was that particular part of the funding that was very influential in finally getting us across the line to make this when we did, so we are grateful for that also. Thank you, Katrina. Next we have Screen Australia, our wonderful national funding body, and specifically Tim Phillips, who's been taking care of us the whole way through. We'd like to thank Screen Australia for their support. Again, this is sort of moving on for David and I anyway, a new level of funding whereby we've only had state funding previously, and now it feels very, very, very humbling to be recognised on sort of the national funding level, and we hope it'll continue into the future. So thank you, Screen Australia and Tim Phillips. So now we move on to the other people who were in the film, the cast. Now, let's see, the majority of the cast, well, there were a lot of professional actors I see before me, and, you know, aspiring and who have phenomenal futures ahead of them, but most of the other supporting roles were basically David and my friends, who came along and sacrificed a lot of their time to be with us. So, to start off with, I want to thank Danger 5 for lots of you derailing your entire lives to shoot for, you know, two and a bit months with us locked in the South Australian Film Corporation, being punished in all sorts of sadistic ways. And because the thing is, you know, this is 1/7 of the content that we got through in 43 days, basically, and it gets a lot more hectic throughout the rest of the TV series. So the things that we subjected them to were, you know, borderline. Yeah, well, Sean James Murphy says it best. Equity. No, sorry. Nothing happened. So I would like to thank by name Natasha Ristic, Sean James Murphy, Amanda Simons, and Aldo Mignone, not to mention David Ashby, for being Danger 5. Thank you. Also, in the key lineup, I would like to thank a certain special somebody who evolved from being an Italian professor who met a bloody demise in Italian Spider-Man to being the greatest monster of all time. I'd like to thank my father, Russo. Who took a month of long service. Come on, Dad. Come down. So, that's Italian. So I'd like to thank Dad for taking a month of long service leave off of his job teaching guitar for the public schools to play the greatest monster of all time. And did a disturbingly lovable portrayal of, I might say. So thank you, our lead lineup. I would also like, as I said before, to thank every single support actor, whether you be a real actor or just one of our friends, for coming and giving your time to us and getting shot or falling over or painting yourself from head to toe in a bizarre colour. Well, not wearing very much, or, you know, the staples of the production. And also I'd like to thank the many extras we had, from well-wishers to our friends again, to models, to everybody who devoted an enormous amount of time to the production. The amount of reoccurring faces we had over the 43 days was enormous. I know some people even lost their jobs because they were on Danger 5 so much. So we destroyed some lives in the process. Thank you for that. I hope somehow this makes up for it. So thank you to everybody and all the others. Now we move on to the crew, my phenomenal crew. So, you know, I'm a new director. This is the first real thing that I've ever directed in terms of working in a completely professional environment. And it was only sort of, well, during the shoot and after hearing a lot of feedback from other industry people, that I realised how privileged I was to have the group of people surrounding me that I had. We kind of had a whole demographic of filmmakers involved from all different, you know, pursuits and the different disciplines of the film world. And, you know, the majority of the crew is complete youngsters. The average mean age of most of them is 20-something. But we went from having a 16-year-old second AD, Joel, to Grant Page, age undisclosed. As our safety supervisor, keeping things really... No problems, Grant. Protecting your integrity. who kept things pretty safe for us the whole time, between naps. Anyhow, so, as I said, it was an amazing experience to be involved with all these people from different age groups and different parts of the industry, from emerging to established and ridiculously experienced, all getting along with each other, and everybody seemed to want to talk to each other every day, which was completely unproductive behaviour, to tell the truth, but made a fairly pleasant environment to work in the whole time. And that's something that is actually fairly rare lots of the times, that you come to work at, you know, 7 o'clock in the morning and you sort of get distracted because you really enjoy the people who are around you the whole time. So that was a very pleasant thing to experience. So specifically, I'd like to thank our key production designers, Obi O'Brien, our production designer, and Bluey Byrne, who was set decorator, puppet maker, and general art liaison in general, for making a concoction of things look like they're worth a lot more than they actually were. So thank you very much, lads. I'd like to thank Chloe and Sophie Spalding, who are the chiefesses of our costume and style department, who made everybody look incredibly beautiful and sartorial right throughout the show. I'd like to thank Christina Persichini, our dynamo head makeup artist, who never wants to see a latex monkey mask again in her entire life. So thank you, Christina, and your fleet of helpers. I'd like to thank Grant Page for bringing us decades of experience and being incredibly generous with all of his knowledge. And the number of times I got completely diverted from whatever we were doing just because he was telling some story about playing chess with George Lazenby in hospital. And so thank you for being too interesting, Grant Page. I'd like to thank Mark Hollowell, Head of Special Effects, who brought us blood and explosions anytime we wanted it, on any scale we wanted it, as you saw in great magnitude on screen. I'd like to thank Sam King, my loyal Director of Photography, who's been there since university and Italian Spider-Man and still continues to make everything look pretty sick. I'd like to thank Richard Rhys-Jones, our gaffer, who again brought decades of experience to the production and so much information and wisdom that couldn't be gained from anybody else and made the production all the better. Thank you very much, Rich. Brad Lanyon, first AD, who supported me and my regular coffee intake, and whenever I was in a slump, he would always pick up the slack and make sure the girls were nude enough and standing in the right place. I'd like to thank Mark Krause, our production accountant, for pushing pencils and doing the numbers that I'm so bad at. Angela and Louise Heesum, our radiant casting directors from Heesum Casting, Angela Heesum Casting, who brought us many of our leads and then tolerated me and David sort of hunched in their office looking over thousands of faces going, no, his nose is too long, yeah, get another one. So thank you for suffering our prejudices for so long. I'd like to thank Megan Hudemer, production manager, for along with Kate, making the most unstoppable production management team in the universe that was essentially like running, you know, a bunch of pandemonic school kids every morning and trying to get them to do something in a coordinated fashion. I'm talking about the crew, not the cast, of course. I'd like to thank David Ashby, who, of course, my longtime collaborator and friend for many, many years, who wrote the project and has been there from Italian Spider-Man and has transformed himself many times over for our ridiculous exploits and will continue into the future. So thank you, David, for your loyalty. I'd like to thank Kate Crozer, the benevolent co-producer of mine, who really has been the producer for the last, God knows how many months, as soon as I really started over full-time directing duties. And without you, nothing could have happened on screen, full stop. So I owe you everything for this production. More locally for the event tonight, I'd also like to thank Fox Models for providing the beautiful air hostesses who are wandering around at the beginning of the evening. And also, I'd like to thank in advance the Click, the band we'll have playing at the after party. And finally, I'd like to thank Hitler and his wife, my mum and dad. Not only for biologically producing me, but for unremitting support of what would seem like otherwise an irrational cause for the last 8 years or something like that. So I owe every single thing I do to both of you. Thank you very much. I hope everybody enjoyed the film. Enjoy the party. Thank you for coming.
That's it. We're done. Thank you all for coming.
We're done.